Hey, my doves. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about my love, the love of my life, the man who makes me feel safe and normal, who holds me while I break down, but also reminds me of what a strong, smart, independent woman that I am, and who admires the strength that I have to overcome everything and anything. Our love starts as a cliche, but what great love doesn't? Other loves. I wish that our love didn't start as a cliche, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. So I had just become very comfortable with being alone and being single, and I didn't need anyone else to make me happy, and I was all like, I'm gonna focus on me. And I went to my friend's birthday party. We'll call him Paul, and Paul was there, and I think I said hi to Paul, and I was like, yo, what's up? And I remember, so my love was like in the kitchen talking to one of my friends, and the only thing that I remember ever saying to him was they were like talking about Star Wars, and I was like, meh, Star Wars, yeah. Like, I really don't know what I said, but I said something along the lines of their Star Wars conversation that they were having, and I don't even think I introduced myself to him. I was in the kitchen, I grabbed me a beer, and I said, yeah, Star Wars, and I walked out. Like, that's it. That's all I remember. And for my love side of the story, he says that he doesn't remember meeting me either. But here's the kicker. So, Paul and my love were talking the next day because they went to school together and I worked with Paul. So they're talking or whatever, and Paul's like, I saw you met Hannah. Well, how you like that? And my love was like, who, what, when, where, why? But according to Paul, he was all like, oh yeah, that Hannah chick, she's so awesome. Let me be with her. So I don't know whose side of the story to believe. I'm choosing to believe that we just, Paul was playing matchmaker, because he was. And then he texted me and he was like, hey, you should date my friend. And I was like, I don't want to date your stupid friend. I'm happy being single. I'm happy with my life. I love me. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to date your friend. And Paul was like, okay, screw you. Have a good day. And he told my love that he had to make the first move. So he did. He friended me on Facebook. We chatted. And here I am. I see this friend request from this guy. And he's like, hey. And I was all like, oh, Paul, why? But then I said, hey, back. And we never stopped talking to this day. We never stopped talking. And he says that he was comfortable with being single, and we both had gotten out of these relationships. And we were finally happy with being ourselves and being alone and all that good stuff. But the rest is history, and here we are today. I met his family shortly after I started dating him. I want to say it was like a month after or so. And then I think we were together about as long, and I told him about my past. I felt like I could tell him anything. So in that moment, I know that I talked to you guys about how I didn't tell this guy before. And when I didn't tell the guy before, it was because I didn't trust him. I really felt like he was going to judge me, which is weird because I had never really felt that way with anyone else. But I never felt this sense of comfort that I had felt with my love at this point. So here I am. It's a new relationship. He has no idea who I am because it's a month. What do you tell each other at a month? Like, I was born here and my blood type is this. Like, no, you don't get that deep. It's a month. And I was really scared. I didn't think he was going to understand. I didn't think he was going to accept it. But I told him, and I felt really comfortable whenever I told him. I didn't feel like, I didn't feel like it was going to be crazy. I was nervous to tell him, which, I guess because he didn't know me before. He didn't know who I was. I was this random person. But, here we are. He took it with stride whenever I told him, and he's asked questions here and there, which I told him was totally okay to do. He understands that sometimes I just don't want to talk about it. Sometimes I just have bad days and I need to cry and be held and told everything is going to be okay. And then in like 2 minutes after I've cried myself out, I'm like, well, we're good. I'm back to being beast mode. It's all good here. It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't feel as detrimental as I thought it was going to. So we were a couple months in, and he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I was like, yes, I'll be your girlfriend. But I want to say he asked me when I was a little, not myself, if you catch my drift, a little inebriated. And then he told me that he loved me while he was drunk. I think he told me, and then he went to go behind a truck to relieve himself of the alcohol. You get what I'm saying. And so when he told me that, I was like, oh, well, we'll talk about it in the morning. Because I'm not about to sit here and share I love yous with somebody who's drunk. Like, no, you might not mean it in the morning. Cynical mind here. But in the morning, he said it again, and he was so nervous. He was like, oh, God, she doesn't love me. But I do. I said it back. I did love him. I just didn't want to confess my undying love for him, and him being drunk and him not really mean that he loves me. But thankfully, we both felt that way. We were dating for about a year, and then we moved in together. I feel like, because I had lived with somebody before, I was like, you know what? No, like, let's get to know each other some more before we just move in with each other. Let's not be crazy about this. Like, let's be smart. So we were dating about a year, and then we moved in with each other. We've been living with each other for a while now. And it's easy. It's really not that hard. It's not as stressful and as hard as I thought it was going to be. This is his first time living on his own. On his own without his family. This was not my first time living on my own without my family. I have been doing that since I was 19, so been a while. So I was nervous that he wasn't going to hold up, I guess. I don't know how to word it, but, I was nervous that it was going to be harder for him than it actually has been, so I'm so proud of him for that. We've been dating for almost 4 years. And we were recently engaged. So I wanted to share this guy with you because I love love. Okay, that sounds weird, but I love love. I love people being in love. I love being in love. I love being loved, and actually being loved, not like sex love, but actual love. I like the feeling of knowing that I'm loved. I mean, it's a great, wonderful feeling. But I've always wanted to be married. I couldn't wait to be a wife, and I couldn't wait to be a mom, and I still can't wait to be a wife, and I still can't wait to be a mom. I mean, I can, but I can't, And I never thought that somebody would say, hey, you there, I see all of your scars and all of your damage, and I want you to spend the rest of my life with me. I commit to dealing with you for the rest of my life. And I found somebody who can do that, and I found somebody who can do that, and not only do that, but listen to me and take care of me in ways that I need to be taken care of, which I think is beautiful. I think, oh God, I love that fact about him. I love that I can have a bad day and he'll just crawl in bed with me and he'll ask me, what do you need? And I just tell him and he does it. Even if that means that I lay in bed and stare at the wall and he's laying in bed with me, even if he's just playing on his phone. But the fact that he's there, it makes a lonely feeling not feel so lonely, if that makes sense. I know that at any moment, whenever I need it, I can turn around and he's going to be there. And I think that's just, and I'm not trying to brag and I'm not trying to rub my relationship in your face, but I want you guys to know, because I've talked about failed relationships. I've talked about that, but I wanted to talk to you guys about a relationship that's currently working, and I wanted to, give you guys a little bit of comparison here, and I wanted you guys to see, what is it that I'm feeling in this relationship that is working, so that way, I don't know, I hope that helps in a way. And we have open communication. We have, he can come and talk to me about anything, and I can come and talk to him about anything. I ask him questions all the time. Does it bother you this? Does this bother you? Does that bother you? Does whatever. I ask him these questions, and I trust whatever he's telling me is true, and he knows that he can tell me. Even if he thinks that it's going to upset me, I'm asking because I want to know. I'm asking because I don't want my problems to become a problem in the relationship, which I don't think that it will, but you never know. You never know. I don't want him to feel unwanted or undesired just because I'm having a bad day. I don't want that. So open line of communication, I think, is very important. Whether you have, a backstory, whether you have depression, whether you have anything going on, whether you have PTSD, whatever, even if you're just a quote unquote normal person with normal person problems, I don't know what those are. But, open communication, I think, is key in any relationship. But as perfect as it all sounds, and as perfect as it all looks to the outside world, and as happy as we are, we've had problems. We've had major problems. And, it's not a perfect relationship. I feel like it's perfect because it's two people who love each other and who are doing what they can to make things work. Okay, that makes it sound like we're falling apart. We're not falling apart. But I mean, it's two people who love each other and who are, you know, putting the work into a relationship, and relationships do require work. They're not easy. They're not la-di-da-di-das. They're not a freaking romantic comedy. That's not how it works. That's not a real relationship. Relationships take work. They take compromise. They take conversations. They take, you know, arguments here and there, and that's okay. Like, that's healthy too. It's fine, you know, as long as the other one's not getting physical with anybody. I don't know. I don't believe that perfect relationships exist. I really don't. I have relationships, I have friends' relationships that I look up to and that I aspire to, but I don't think that they're perfect, and I would never put that pressure on them to say, oh, you guys have a perfect relationship, or, oh, I aspire to be you guys. No. I mean, yes, there are things that I like about their relationship, and yes, I may aspire to them. I'm not going to tell that person that. That just puts pressure. All of our friends say that we have this great relationship and that we're perfect for each other. But there are problems in our relationship. Every relationship has issues. Every relationship has problems. Every relationship has things that get band-aided over and get fixed and get improved upon. But, you know, no relationship is perfect. So, I don't know. I just don't want people to think that just because your relationship isn't perfect and because you have a couple arguments with somebody doesn't mean that you're not meant to be with them. I mean, yes, reassess the situation. Reassess what you want in a relationship, what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to change, and what you're not willing to give up and change. And if your relationship's meeting those requirements and you still want to be in it, then it's a good relationship for you. Otherwise, then you've got to reassess. And is that the relationship you want to be in? And go from there. I mean, we're stronger now, and the world has another thing coming as long as we're together. So, I mean, he's made me a better person without him even trying. I mentioned before that I changed myself for somebody to fit them. And even though I've changed myself while being with my love, it's not because he asked me to. And it's nothing that I didn't want to change already. And he did it all, like, he inspired me to change without even trying. Just by him being himself. He is such an easygoing, friend-finding anywhere, see the good in everyone kind of person. And that is not me. As positive as I see him on this little screen here, and I'm not a negative Nancy either. I'm a pretty positive person, I feel like. But at the same time, like, I'm very cynical. And I'm very like, meh, bad people are everywhere. I don't know. Like, I'm not as easygoing. When plans get changed, I'm like, well, that's it. I'm not going. I don't want to do it. No, negative. No. You said we were going here, and now you've changed it to one restaurant over. Not going. That's not what I agreed to. I don't know what that is about me. But plans get changed, and he's like, yeah, I'm down to try out a new restaurant. No big deal. I don't know. Stuff like that. That's not a good example, but stuff like that. So I mean, like, I don't know. Oh, God. And living with somebody, and getting engaged to somebody means that you have to take them for all of their terrible habits. Like, he chews with his mouth open. Well, let me not say that. That makes him sound like a cow. But he chews loudly. And I can't. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, and oh my God, that man has taught me patience. That man has taught me patience and not to murder somebody, otherwise he would already be dead. He would already be gone. I can't, no. So that's one thing that he's changed me for the better, I guess. I don't know. That's a weird thing to bring up, but whatever. He helps me in more ways than he'll ever really know and he'll ever really understand. As much as I tell him, as much as we reaffirm our love for each other by telling each other all these great, amazing things, he'll never really truly understand how much he's helped me and how much he has changed me for the better. Again, I thought I was damaged, broken, and unwanted, and ruined, and all these other terrible things. And here I am. Here I am with somebody who's willing to commit themselves to this crazy mess of a person. And here I am willing to commit myself to, somebody who helps me be better. And here I am being better than I've ever been. And that is in no thanks to you, mister. That is in thanks to my love. But that is not in thanks to my stepfather. This is all in spite of him. In spite of you, I am this great, amazing person. And I have found somebody who loves me all of my flaws included, and you can go suck a nut because screw you, you mofo. Thanks for nothing. that being said, again, our relationships, they have issues. I mean, all relationships have issues. All relationships have makeups. All relationships have, breaking points. We haven't reached ours yet, thank God. And hopefully we never will. Please, dear God. So the only advice that I can give you guys is know what you deserve, what you want, what you're worth. Okay? Know what you will and what you won't put up with. Know what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up. And know that no relationship is perfect. And you guys don't compare your relationship to anybody else's. Your relationship is your relationship between you and whatever person you decide to have a relationship with. And every relationship is different. Every single one is different. And I would never compare my relationship to somebody else's. I mean, there are things that I would never do to him, and there are things that he would never do to me. But at the end of the day, everybody's relationship is different, That's between you and whoever your relationship is with. And yes, other people can give you their opinions, and yes, other people can give you their advice, and you can listen to it or you cannot listen to it, because at the end of the day, it is between you and your person, your significant other, the person that you're with. That's your relationship. It's not you, the person you're with, and everybody else. Okay? So just, keep that in mind. I mean, I don't know. Know that your love is out there. And as cliche as it sounds, everybody told us, you'll find love when you stop looking. And I say that because it was like a bunch of old people that told us. And I was like, nah. And then here I was not looking and got hit in the face with love. So I don't know. It is what it is. And maybe you'll find it when you're looking. I don't know how this crap works. All I know is that somehow somebody was like, hey, you're awesome. Let me spend the rest of my life with you. Never thought that was good. I literally, when we first started dating, no lie, I was talking to my friend and I was like, well, it's cool for now, but it's not like we're going to get married. I hope she remembers this and brings us up at the wedding, because that would be perfect. That would be a perfect speech for her. Anywho's, this video has gone on long enough. I want you guys, with this I leave you, and I want you guys to know that, your love is out there. And more importantly, you deserve love. You deserve love, and you deserve health, and you deserve happiness, and you deserve a wonderfully beautiful life. Because when all the bullshit is aside and all the darkness is left, it is a wonderfully beautiful life. Wonderfully beautiful life. It really, truly is. And I'm not just saying that because I have somebody. I was saying this before he came along. Boom. In your face, my love. But really, I mean, what more can you ask for in life, right? I mean, I don't know what else. I know that I love you all, and I hope that you all know your worth, because you are all worth so much. And I hope that you never let anybody diminish your worth, because they're not worth it. That's a lot of worth in a sentence. Anyway, you are all warriors. You are all wonderful, wonderful people, and you are all free little doves. So until then, until next time, goodbye, my doves.